Hello and welcome back to my channel. Yes, I did take a little bit of a hiatus there for a while. It was like at least 2 months, maybe 3 months. I just got really bogged down with my work and some other things, and this sort of got put on the back burner. But I do still really love making videos, and so I do want to get back to it. Okay, just be casual. I have accumulated a couple of more followers on this channel, and so that does apply a little bit of pressure when I'm putting these videos together. You know, I'm not just talking to myself anymore, so that makes me a little nervous, but you know, that is the whole point of this, is to have people watch these videos, so I'm just gonna have to like suck it up and get over it. So today I'd like to touch on some issues you might be running into if you're very new to witchcraft. I think some of my followers are very established being atheist, and they're just now starting to like look into the idea of ritual and witchcraft. Maybe they found it through the aesthetics. Maybe you were looking at spooky things on Instagram and that is your first step down the rabbit hole. But no matter what has brought you here, if you are new here, there are some things that you might be running into. So my cat is scratching my feet, and now he is trying to push over the tripod, so he is kind of being our pest. Why can't you be helpful? So the first pitfall is that you will hear a lot of very well-meaning suggestions to read everything you can read all the blog posts, you know, find the books in the library, buy books, and just be a sponge and try to absorb all the knowledge that you can. And that's the best thing that you can do as you're starting your path on witchcraft. And on the surface, that seems like really good advice, because of course reading is always the best way to learn about something. But if we're coming at this from an atheist perspective, we know that just because something is written doesn't mean that it's valuable, that it's truth, that it's necessarily wisdom. And when you get into the woo community, oh hi. When you get into the, you know, maybe pseudoscience community, you're going to discover a lot of very confident people writing very confident words, and they're writing these words from, you know, their dreams or their intuitions or visions that they've had, like maybe some drug-fueled benders, and that's not necessarily like a place of experience or wisdom or a place of expertise. So I would say, like, you know, don't limit your reading, but just when you are reading about witchcraft, I want you to, you know, obviously go into it with the same skepticism. And one of the major types of skepticism that you should bring along with you is try to identify the motivations of the information. For example, maybe you're following a spell book, and the spell book's very complex and it requires a lot of ingredients and props and things, and maybe that book was put out by, you know, an online store that sells these items. So maybe the motivation behind the book calling for these complicated items for a spell is to sell you those items. You know, maybe you're following a blog, like a wellness blog, and they're promoting rituals, and then they might sneak in, like, you know, dietary supplements, and they might be conveniently selling these dietary supplements. So you really just have to watch for people's motivations and make sure that the information that you're receiving isn't just packaged up to try to like get your money. Also, a lot of classes are expensive and they are tiered, and so you end up, like, you know, to learn more about, you know, this particular tarot, like, you have to keep registering for courses that cost money. And of course, like, people should be paid money for their services, absolutely. Like, you know, I pay for tarot readings. If I wanted to take a class, I would gladly pay for the tarot class. So instead of coming at it from this idea that, you know, I have to read everything, I have to be a sponge, everyone is wiser about this than I am, like, you know, just really be careful of your sources and take everything with a grain of salt. And you can find plenty of peer-reviewed science about aromatherapy, which is a placebo effect, but it's a highly effective placebo effect. The same with like Reiki being like a ASMR massage, basically. Like, there is science that is good for you. It's not because, you know, it's maybe for some, maybe it's a placebo effect, but it's still good, and we still have some some literature to back that up. This whole idea that I have to find my practice in a book and that other people have more experience than I do, therefore they know more than I do, therefore I should be emulating what their practice looks like, and what I'm doing, is novice and therefore it is not as, powerful. That sort of misses the whole purpose of this atheist witchcraft journey, and that is that what works for you is going to be very particular to you, and you're not going to find it in a book. You're just going to have to puzzle piece it together through your own experiences. Ugh, you're shutting all over me. Kitty's just going to be a part of all these videos now. He just will not be left behind. Okay, and the second thing that you may run into if you are new on the scene is you might be looking at Instagram, you might be looking at YouTube, and you might see a lot of physical items that are extremely aesthetic, they're beautiful, that you feel like you need to go out and purchase, and that you're gonna run up your bank account for these items. And this sort of falls into that issue where you have the real you, and then you have your ideal dream you. Instagram and Pinterest are going to push you towards that ideal you that doesn't really exist in the day-to-day. And I would highly recommend not making big investments into tools and items and herbs and urns until you sort of get more of a routine. It's a better idea to kind of collect those things slowly over time. It will save you money because you will not buy things that will end up dust on a shelf and not really use. And also, a lot of people are doing this no-buy January. Some people are doing a no-buy year this year. And we're just sort of trying to get away from this consumerism that is not great for our planet. It's not great for our pocketbook. And it's really harder to clean your house when you have all this clutter. So it's better just to not bring those things into your home in the first place, if you can completely avoid it. There's some controversy on how ethical it is to source crystals out of the earth, because of course mining is never, there's no such thing as gentle mining, and some stones do come from conflict areas, and really, of course the rose quartz is beautiful. And you may think that I must have a rose quartz if I'm going to be doing a love spell. However, a pebble that you pick up, on a walk, a pebble that you pick up on a walk can be infused with the same intention. It doesn't have to be a rose quartz crystal that came out of the ground. Now, crystals are beautiful, and of course that I do have some crystals that I use, but I think that I have as many as I need, and I will not be buying any more. And also I have gone on a few shopping sprees to buy items, but there is a really lovely locally owned shop in my area, and they've done so much for the community, and they're just such a force for good that I want to give them my money. So that's why I purchased those items, primarily is to support that shop. But there's no reason to go out there and just buy all the witchy stuff. Because just like most shopping therapy, it feels really, really good up front, and then later it doesn't feel so good. So I guess the theme of this video is the theme of most of the videos so far, and that is that your witchcraft is what you make of it. There is no right or wrong for you. Just because a book tells you that you have to buy a bunch of other books, or you have to pay for classes, or you have to purchase a lot of implements, that's not the only way. I think I'm rusty at this, so I hope this wasn't terrible or too rambling. It was not as organized as some of my other videos, but I hope to not have a 2-month gap between now and the next video, so please stay tuned. That's it for this video. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye!